Okay, now we need to add our 3D components on this form to start its functionality. First, let us change this desktop to default layout so that we can see our components. For making this solar system, we need 4 components. First is 3D form, which is already available. If we go to code, we see this form main is class T form 3D. Okay, go back to design time. First we need to add a 3D sphere. Let us search SPH, and here we see a 3D sphere. Let us double click it. So we have this sphere now. And then we need a texture component to fill this sphere. Let us name it this sphere first. Make its size a bit bigger. Let's make its size, let's say 788, I think is good. Let's change its depth to 8 and its height to 8. So this is our sphere. Now if you look closely, you see the edges of the sphere are not very round. These are a bit rough edges, and it is because of this setting, Subdivision Axis 16 and 12. And let us reduce this setting to see how it looks. Let's say this is. So the more these settings are, the smoother it will be. The less these settings are, the jaggy and not rounded cornered it will be. So let us keep it 32. Let us keep it 32. I think 32 is a good point. So now it is a perfect sphere almost for this. Let us save it. Second thing we need is a texture component. Let us click here and TEXTURE. So we have T texture material source. Let us double click it, and we have our T texture material source. Now we need to connect this sphere to this texture, and so that its texture is applied here. But first we need to load some texture in this bitmap. Let us find some texture on hard disk. So to load texture, we will select this texture material source and go to its texture and its bitmap. We will click these 3 dots, and here we have edit. Let us click edit. Now let us load some texture. Clicking load, we have a sample texture here, sample gradient. Let us click it, open it, and press OK. So we have loaded texture into texture material source, but we still have to connect this texture material source with this sphere so that this sphere can show this texture. So we will go into this sphere, and in material source, if we click here, we see this is texture material source, and you see we are having this texture applied here. Let us save all and run. So far so good. We are having this sphere with texture applied. Let us close it and move to next step. And fourth component and fourth and last component we will be using for this project is our animation. And in Delphi FireMonkey there are many kinds of animations. You see, if we select anim, and we see there are many kinds of animation, but we will be using the float animation. And now click this float animation, and you see this float animation is a child of this sphere. If we bring it out, it will not be applied to this sphere. So it has to be a child of this sphere so that it can apply onto it. Texture material source has no need to be child of sphere, but let us make it also child of the sphere so that our things are a bit organized. And if we close this, because we will be having many spheres, so every sphere will contain its animation and its texture. So this is about structure. Let us apply animation and see what we need to change here. Okay, so we have this float animation. First of all, there is a duration. Duration default is 0.2 second, which is very small. Let us make it 10 second. So 10 second will be a smoother circular movement, and then we need to make it enabled. If it is not enabled, it will not be running. And then we want to make it in a loop so that it never stops. Even after 10 seconds, it continues to start again. And then we want to animate, and in property name we see there are many things that we can animate over time in 10 seconds. Say we can animate its depth and provide a start value and stop value. We can animate its height, its opacity, position, etc. But the thing we want to animate is rotation angle Y. We want this, you see this is Y axis, and we want this sphere to rotate around this axis. So we will see rotation angle Y. Okay, rotation angle Y starting from this value, ending from this value will do nothing. So let us start it from 0 and end to 360 so that it completes a full round. Now 360 and 0 are same, because after 360 it will again reach 0, so it will reduce one frame. So let us make it from 1 to 360. So start value will be 1, and because it is rotation angle Y, so there will be 360. Let us save it and see how it goes now. Wow, so it is now rotating. Our sphere is rotating, and let us suppose it is sun, and it is rotating around its orbit. And remember, we have not written a single line of code up until now, and we have to move on. Let us see what we can do next. Thanks for watching. This video is part of a multi-video project. Our target is to create a 3D solar system in Delphi FireMonkey without writing a single line of code. Please watch my other videos in the playlist to learn more about the whole project. If you have an exciting product idea or software project, we may work together. Please write me at thekasimshahzad@gmail.com. Thanks and have a wonderful time. Goodbye.